Hello everyone, this is the Mgtow Cowboy. Greetings and salutations. I've got another video for you, and in this video I'm going to talk about the environmental impacts that are specifically related to women's consumption, and also just talk about conspicuous consumption on the side of women. So here goes. I want to start by saying that this video is inspired by another video I just saw a couple hours ago by another Mgtow content creator. You guys may have heard of, what's his name? Strong Successful Bachelor. Strong Successful Bachelor. He's pretty good. I like his material. He's got a lot of good things to say. Anyway, today, or I guess yesterday, it's after midnight, whatever. Right now it's August 12th, so on the 11th of August, he came out with a video. And the video, I can't remember what it was titled exactly, but it was something like 5 ways men contribute to greenhouse gases more than women. 5 ways how men contribute more to climate change than women, or something like that. And I did not find the article very convincing. So I did a little digging, and I wanted to talk about how women also contribute to this so-called climate change. And for the record, I believe that climate change is phony, or that is to say, I believe that climate change is real. The climate of the Earth does change, but I believe that anthropomorphic climate change it's negligible. Don't get me wrong, I think we can and we are doing damage to the earth, but I actually blame that more on women than I blame it on men. And that's because of overconsumption of like crap and like knickknacks. And as I will talk about in a second, how we're polluting our earth with plastics, or polluting our oceans with plastics. Anyway, so, the article that he read, I thought it was BS. It just talked about how, men drive more, or actually women drive more, but when men drive, they typically drive longer distances, and so they emit more, greenhouse gases and all this, and everything's men's fault, and, it's just the same, BS. Well, there's two, I want to give a counter narrative, and there's 2 things that I looked up. The first one was, this is titled Plastic Periods, Menstrual Products and Plastic Pollution. So apparently there are certain types of pollution that is exclusively female. And but I don't see that spoken about a lot. So this was from friendsoftheearth.uk. I don't know what that is. It's probably some NGO or something. On the very front you can see there's a button to donate, so I'm sure they'll take your money. But let's see. I'm going to read the first paragraph. When menstrual products, most menstrual products contain plastics, and we don't dispose of them properly. Heidi Ringshaw of the Women's Environmental Network, WEN, talks about the problem and solutions. And this is an old article. It says this is from October of 2018, but I'm sure women still menstruate up to this day, so this article is still relevant. It's germane to the discussion. Okay, give me 1 second. What's first paragraph? It's like 4 or 5 paragraphs down. I need to find it. I wanted to read this. Tampons have plastic in them. String applicators. The rest of the pad is made from wood pulp. Yeah. They're cotton, rayon. Just okay. Okay. Here we go. Here's the first paragraph I want to read. We hear a lot about single-use plastic straws, plastic bottles, coffee cups, and the list goes on. But throwaway menstrual products are adding throwaway menstrual products are adding to the plastic epidemic, made worse by incorrect disposal. Okay. All right, here's what I wanted to read. Flushing pads and tampons down the toilet causes sewer blockages. Worse, many pads and tampons end up in the sea and washed up on beaches. It has been estimated that 1.5 to 2 billion menstrual items are flushed down Britain's toilets each year. The great majority of these products end up incinerated or in landfill. And then the next paragraph I want to read, this really hits it home even more. Listen to this. Figures from the UK Marine Conservation Society reveal that on average, 4.8 pieces of menstrual waste are found per 100 meters of beach cleaned. For every 100 meters of beach, that amounts to 4 pads, panty liners, and backing strips, along with at least 1 tampon and applicator. Okay, so the point of me reading that is I want to point out how there are specific ways that women contribute to what we would call climate change or environmental degradation. But you rarely see that spoken about. And I find it very hypocritical that woman in that article that was highlighted by a strong, successful male, that woman, she's very quick to point out how men are at fault and how men specifically contribute to climate change. And she very much wants to make it a gendered issue. But how come she doesn't mention specific things that women do that contribute to to climate change, this supposed climate change or environmental degradation? And I just find that very hypocritical. There's one more thing I want to show, and this was an article by Forbes. It's called 20 Facts and Figures to Know When Marketing to Women. And this is also an old article. This is from May of 2019. But again, this has not changed. This trend has not changed. And basically what it talks about, and I've known this before, that apparently the vast majority of consumer spending is by women. In fact, I've heard it worded even better. It was something like 80%. What I remember learning was 80% of all disposable income is spent on women. Or that is to say, and you have to understand what disposable means. Disposable means like money you have after covering your basics, after covering food, clothing, water, housing, basic, medical, after, food and water and your house or your apartment or whatever, all the other money that you spend on, all kinds of consumer goods and stuff, the vast majority of that is spent on women. It's spent by men for women, so men buying stuff for women, or women just buying themselves crap that they don't need. And this article sort of backs that up. Let me find it. It says 20 facts and figures. There's only 2 that I want to show you. I already looked through this. Let's see. Number of female CEOs, sources of income, women of color. Oh yeah, here's one thing I wanted to show you. Look at Mother's Day spending. So Mother's Day spending is expected to reach a record $25 billion in 2019, up from $23.1 billion in 2018. Well, what I would say to that is, first off, that number is probably higher now. And yeah, you better bet. How much you guys want to bet that more money is spent on women every year for Mother's Day than on men for Father's Day? You better bet. And I bet you it's by a large margin, probably more than 20%, 30%. And it's, totally unnecessary. Think of like all the balloons, all the helium, helium. Think of just one example. Think of helium. Helium is it's a finite resource. Once we lose it, it goes into the atmosphere. It's gone. Helium is used. I think helium is used to like clean surgical instruments, among other things. But the point is, look at how frivolous we are with buying, balloons that can float. That float in the air. Okay, so here we go. Look at this one right here. This is the single biggest thing I wanted to talk about. Women drive 70 to 80% of all consumer purchasing decisions. Or as I remember learning, it was 80% of all discretionary spend, or I'm sorry, 80% of all disposable income is spent by women on themselves or by men buying stuff for women. So basically the point is the vast majority, our whole economy, if you think about it, our entire economy is formatted around constantly buying women useless shit. And, then I see articles, like the article that Strong Successful Male came out with saying, how women are blaming us. And it's like, 80% of all this useless crap. I mean, we got to eat, right? You got to eat. You got to have an apartment. You need clothes on your back, right? But besides that, 80% of all the crap, the unnecessary crap that we buy is for women. It's not for men. And yet they have the audacity to make articles basically shaming men. And it just, it just burns my biscuit, It really grinds my gears. So, anyway, that's basically it. I just wanted to make that video talking about how, I was just listening to Strong Successful Male, and he was just bringing up this article. The article was totally blaming men, saying how, oh yeah, men contribute more to climate change than women do, and men are bad. But it didn't even give one example of how women maybe can also lower their carbon footprint. It was just more shame and blame. It's just more shame and blame. I'm sorry, that's going to be a reoccurring theme on my channel. It's just this constant blaming of men. But as I just pointed out, the majority of consumer spending is women. It's women consuming all this crap, not men. Number one, and in point of fact, there are examples of how there are gender-based products that also, in addition to whatever straws or whatever both genders use, there are gender-specific products, or basically women-specific products that also contribute to the pollution of the oceans, for example, the example I brought up. But that woman who wrote that article, she failed to admit that. And so, whatever. At this point, man, I see through all this bullshit. It's all just BS. So that's all I've got for you, guys. If you like my content, please like, please comment, please subscribe, please share, and I'll leave it at that. This is the Mgtow Cowboy. Gentlemen, stay Mgtow. All right, bye now.